Yo,
Cousin B, you're live. You're live on the podcast, my dude.
He's stunning on you. He said live from Maui.
We know you're in you know what I'm saying, the small island or the big island. Where you at?
I'm in Maui right now, man. I'm actually sitting on rocks, listening to water on my sand shit.
Hey,
bro.
listen, I respect it. I respect it.
But I saw you pop up on the line, so it had to be important.
My brother, I appreciate you for answering. The streets is asking.
This is hilarious.
The streets is asking. Twitter world is asking. What's a podcast wants to know how come we didn't get an invite to the Tiny Desk with Drake and 21 Savage?
Listen, man. Now, first of all, the moment we started letting guests in, the What's the Podcast crew was front and center. I mean, how many shows that never came out have y'all been to?
That's a fact. That's a fact.
But listen, man. Enough respect to Drake for trolling the hell out of us, bro.
All right, so it never happened because Jerome said it didn't sound like it has happened yet.
It hasn't happened yet. I'll say that.
Okay.
They know. Obviously, they tagged us. They tagged us like they know what it is.
Yeah.
Drake knows what it is. 21 definitely knows what it is. We've been talking.
Yeah.
So let's just say not yet.
You know, Drake listens to this podcast, so he's gonna hear this.
Shout out to Drake. Thanks
Okay.
for supporting the podcast, my people.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, cool. So we're waiting for this to happen, and whenever it does happen, What's the Podcast? We'll be able to get there in person. We'll be able to be there in person.
When it's official, we'll make sure we make the announcement on What's the Podcast first.
There we go.
And tell him we need him on the 200th anniversary show.
Jerome said we need you on our 200th anniversary, 200th episode live in the studio appearance.
Let's do it. Come on, man.
All right, done deal.
Hey, y'all fam, you kidding?
My brother, hold it down.
All right, bro. All right, man. Peace.
All right, peace.
Yo,
there you have it.
Episode 184. What's a podcast? we just gotta jump right into it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I mean, we had to get to the bottom of things.
I mean, and listen, who better than What's a Podcast? This is gonna go viral. So we'll be ready to
this
go.
This is gonna go viral. We just broke the internet, huh?
Yo. DJ Drum Baker the Third.
Shout out to NPR. Shout
out to Tiny Desk, Cousin B, NPR, man. We've had the opportunity to go to a couple Tiny Desks, both together. And when I say we, I mean myself and Abdul. We've gone together. We've taken our children. Mm-hmm. And then we've also gone separately. You know what I'm saying? So,
you know, and Cousin B just said something that was very important right there. He said, we've been to some joints that never even made it to air. And that's a fact. The one and only Tiny Desk I ever went to never got aired. Of course, Nasty Nas, you know what I'm saying?
Well, listen, if you want the full story, you have to jump on our DM. We can't give you too much. We can't give you too much.
That's true.
You know what I mean? Like, so, but nevertheless, man, DJ Jerome Baker the Third. Shout out to our guy, always available, hashtag Streetwear Eddie. And don't charge Abdul.
We're here, baby. We're missing.
We're here.
We're one man down.
We're one man down.
He's somewhere. Where is he? In the Maldives or something like that? You know what I'm saying? He's somewhere living it up. International Streetwear Eddie.
Yeah, I linked him with my guy out there, so I'm sure he's in
good hands.
Definitely being taken care of properly.
Pause.
I mean, we say that with all due respect.
With all due respect. Pause.
Yeah, like come on.
We're here though. We're here.
Episode
one. Down for the three
episode 184. Man, do remember to check out What's a Podcast .live for our previous episodes. And by the time you hear this, our super producer engineer Silent Tom should have truthfully locked down YouTube.com/What's a Podcast. YouTube has handed out personalized URLs, so whether we had it before and I was just promoting it, I'm not sure, but I know for a fact they're handing out personalized URLs right now, so you should go ahead and cop that.
I think I just hope he doesn't bullshit because we're so popping out here. Somebody might try to steal that URL.
I told him yesterday. He said, "Okay." I think that it's only right if we, um, we're in good hands. So all we can do is trust God that He's guided Silent Tom to click
Yeah.
the button a couple times.
Shout out to Silent Tom.
Speaking of Silent Tom, we were able to link up both myself, Abdul, and Silent Tom. We linked up over the weekend for a bit of a family function out in
Yes.
Germantown, Maryland, which is a
Yeah.
little bit up 270. It's about an hour from DC, from where Abdul and I, you know what I'm saying, where we're at, and Tom's out in Maryland. We were at a orchard, and it was for Tom's son's birthday. Man, it was a fun time.
What a good time.
Yeah, the family was out there. The kids had a ball. Everybody ate really well. We did marshmallows over the fire.
S'mores, actually.
S'mores, excuse me. You're right, because I don't do. Okay,
Well,
yeah.
I don't even know the difference, but I believe they call it all s'mores. Maybe
I
it's
think-
the same thing. They use
No.
marshmallows to make the s'mores,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure. So you need the marshmallow to make the s'mores. So
Yeah,
it was a great time, man. It was a nice day.
yeah. Fun time.
Abdul and I cracked the code on the biggest hustle ever,
I love it.
if you will. There was a gentleman who was in charge of shooting barrels of hay with.
No, barrels. Oh,
it was
barrels of.
Was it hay or was it
pumpkins,
no?
pumpkin.
No, he was using the pumpkins to shoot the barrels of hay, wasn't he?
Oh,
Or was
yes. The target was
Yeah.
barrels of hay.
Yeah,
That's
so
right.
the target was barrels of hay, and so when you first see this contraption, you walk up, you're like, "Yo, I get to shoot
A
the
pumpkin,
barrel of
200 yards. Shit
100,
comes out like a cannon. It's,
120 miles an hour, right?
Yeah.
Bam.
yeah,
The closer you get to the attraction, you actually find out you just get to pay the guy to shoot it. So you don't really get to shoot it. You just pay him and then stand next to him while he shoots it.
You pay him to hand him the pumpkin.
Yo,
What a swindle!
biggest swindle all day. It will be included in this recap because
We got
it
the
was,
video.
Yeah, we have the video.
Yeah.
I think I have video, and so does Abdul. It was
Oh
the
my God.
absolute biggest swindle, and almost got us. It truly almost got us.
I was willing to pay because I was like, I get to shoot that thing. It's the size of like a small, like a small crane.
Tractor.
Yeah,
A small
like a
tractor.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
And that shit comes out at like 120, 200 miles per hour. They shoot that pumpkin from what looks like a big ass cannon, and I was like, yo, I want to shoot that thing, and get over there. Nope, it's $5 just to hand the dude a pumpkin so he can shoot it. You don't even get to aim or guide it as to where you want it shot. You simply just hand it to him. That's it. $5. Swindle.
So prior to us contacting Cousin B, I had reached out to him maybe literally, right before you and I linked up to do the podcast. So he says, got a tip. I said, I knew folks was going to be hot, even though the rollout for this album has been very sharp. He said, got to tip my hat to the Six God. The people are pissed. LOL, it's bittersweet.
Wait, what people is he referring to? Just the
Like,
public? That there
if
is
you-
no
if-
tiny desk?
If you look at Cousin B's Instagram, he reposted
Oh,
people who
I
were
see.
like, one girl was like, yo, this would happen when I don't work there anymore.
Yeah,
People were like
yeah.
really in their feelings, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? So, incredible.
What a good rollout, though. I got to give it up. I
Great.
mean, I'm not like the biggest Drake fan, but I kind of like this move. Why not pick like one thing that is very known for being a niche activity and faking it. You know what I'm saying? Faking like it. They built a whole set. You know what I'm saying? It's not like what they should do is Commonwealth was smart. They should just go buy that set off of him and take it to Complex Con.
That would be genius. Yeah, I mean, we'll tag Larry Incognito. We'll tag Larry Incognito and see what happens.
Yeah.
But I think I think it was just a genius move, man. But
For
yeah,
sure.
but again, we linked Sunday. It was fun. It was cool. A drive was it's an hour, man. Like it was a
Yeah.
minute. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Uh, I know y'all left a little early. Bella and I stayed there till 5. Then like we went grocery shopping out there, and just like we was out there till
Nice.
like 7 o'clock, man. But it's all good. It's always good to link up with the fam.
Yeah, for
So
sure, man. Good times.
yeah,
Happy
absolutely.
birthday, Felix.
Obviously, the big news around the world of hip hop is the untimely death of Takeoff from Migos. We
Oh
want to we
man.
want to offer our condolences to his friends and family. Rest in peace, Takeoff. There has been so much misinformation about the situation. A lot of the people involved. Some of the stories that I've heard regarding Quavo, his involvement, how he reacted to the shooting. There was a mention of Jay Prince and Jazz Prince acting a little. They were
Jay
just
Prince Senior or Junior?
yes, Jay Prince Senior. Yeah, Jay Prince Senior, his son Jazz Prince. It's a lot of misinformation, man. The truth will probably never be known, unfortunately. But Takeoff. It really sucks that people seem to really enjoy his contributions to Migos,
Yeah.
and it seems like just recently he was really getting his flowers. Nori absolutely gave him his flowers on the most recent episode that they were on, Drink Champs.
Hmm.
And there's a lot of different interviews of people celebrating. I guess Quavo just recently said that he is the best rapper out of the group, out of the Migos group. There was messaging that Offset and Takeoff have been close recently. Like they're not
Oh
beefing
man.
anymore. You know what I'm saying? And I think
Yeah.
we've seen a lot of people post on social media, Drake and 21 included, and I don't think Cardi or Offset has posted anything, which is completely fine.
Yeah.
I don't think the first thing you need to do is run to social
Nah,
to
for sure.
to share your grief. You know what I'm saying? But um,
I don't think Quavo has posted anything either, which is completely okay, man. He's going through this
well,
is very traumatic.
so Quavo is actually his uncle, Takeoff's uncle,
Oh,
and
yeah,
um,
right. Uncle Neff.
yeah,
But I don't think he's posted anything though.
no. So there was one woman who claims to have been standing right next to right next to Takeoff when it happened.
Yeah. Yeah.
She said that Quavo passed out. Like they said that he was screaming, and I guess he was so overcome with grief immediately he passed out at the spot. You know what I mean? So there's just so much information. It was the first thing I woke up to. What was that? Tuesday morning.
Yeah.
Tuesday morning, and I saw a basketball player by the name of Trey Young from the Atlanta Hawks, and he tweeted "No effing way." And anytime you see somebody tweet that, it's not good. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? And
Yep.
within a couple scrolls up and down Twitter, the information was there,
Yeah.
and the whole day just played out. With people obviously offering condolences, and I saw Designer quit rap of the Panda fame. He was on Instagram Live crying and just said that he quit rap. There was Lakeith Stanfield from
Atlanta.
He put on Instagram, if you're a fan of gangster rap, you're not a fan of black people. And Nick Young, who was a previous basketball player, said, I'm off the nigga shit. Out of that, it doesn't appeal to him. He said how come you never see the Jonas Brothers get shot up? I was like, that's a little bit of a reach. But I think people are just hurt, man. I think we've seen a lot of Black Death recently,
Yeah.
and it's really just. I think there's been something like 40 rappers have died in the last 4 years or something like 5 years.
That's
And
an
I mean,
insane stat.
It's incredible, honestly. And they had a list of rappers who you knew really well, and then some you had never heard of before. But included in that list was Mac Miller, the kid XXX Tentacion, and just more rappers. You know what I'm saying? And so I just think, as a general, man, the hip hop community is hurting. I think there's there's an understanding that hip hop is slipping a bit right now. You know what I'm saying? It's not dominating the clubs anymore. It's not dominating the charts as it once was. And so I think people, the music and the people in charge, need to be refreshed. You know what I'm saying? We're kind of stuck in a place where there's a lack of originality on the mainstream level. The underground is always gonna produce new and exciting things, but we just it's just like people are saying, yeah, we need good music, we need good hits, we need these corporations that control hip hop to get behind the better championing better music, more positive music, because there are so many African American and just people in general who look towards the music for inspiration. You know what I'm saying? And like I look at some of these local DC rap pages and Baltimore rap pages, and some of these kids are just regurgitating what you hear everybody else doing, and it's some of the worst shit ever. You know what I mean? So I think
Yeah.
that it's super unfortunate that homie passed away.
28 years
Um,
old, man. He's like
yeah,
young as shit. Had his whole life in front of him,
I mean he was
and it's
uncle.
just
He was literally with his uncle, which is crazy.
how does this shit happen?
There was
I
a picture.
just
There was a picture of him and his little sister. Like you
ah.
could you could see. I mean, it was, as a matter of
Is
fact, it
that
was
the one with two kids and with
no
when
the
they were
two.
young?
No, that was him and Quavo.
That was him and Quavo.
There was like three pictures in a row of him and his little sister, and she was at her graduation. And
Oh my
he
god,
was holding her when she was a baby. You know what I mean? So, but I mean,
so
it was
sad, man.
the craziness about it, and maybe to speak to the popularity of hip hop, actually was some of the news organizations that actually posted his death. It was New York Times, it was CNN, it was all the major news outlets
Yeah,
covered it.
I think the Migos was one of those groups that had transcended hip hop and kind of slipped into uh, the pop category, even though their music was very southern based hip hop. You know what I'm saying? But the popularity of them alone had made them pop stars. And pop for the most part kind of gives people a bad taste, but essentially it's just short for popular. Like when the whole world knows you, you're now a pop star, regardless of what genre of music you actually do. And I think the Migos kind of fit into that category when it came to music and artistry and performing and making hits. You know what I'm saying? The amount of hits that they have is endless, man. So I'm I was destroyed. I could not believe it. I thought it was a fucking joke, bro. I went running yesterday morning, like mad early, and I got done. It was before 7 o'clock. I got done, so I pulled out my phone to hit like end on my Strava and whatnot, and I saw a message had come in on my WhatsApp from from a friend of mine, and it was a TMZ update saying Takeoff had passed away, had been murdered, and I was like, this can't be true, but it's TMZ. You know what I'm saying? Like at this point in our lives, which is also like a crazy, is TMZ is one of the more reliable sources of information, especially when it comes to the death of somebody. Um, and I just could not believe it. I was just like, fuck, man. Another person got passes away way before they were supposed to. Um, yeah, rest in peace to Takeoff, and I said a prayer for him and his family and his loved ones. And I just felt terrible about it. You know what I'm saying? It's a tragedy.
Yeah, man, it super sucks. So obviously, for most of the podcast, have a quick moment of
Yeah.
silence. So
And that moment of silence also includes Davido, the Nigerian artist whose son unfortunately passed away in a drowning accident at the pool in their house, which as a parent hit me so hard, man. I cannot imagine that sort of pain, and very very unfortunate. I think he must have been like 2 maybe 3 years old, and
it was three.
yeah, it was three, and you leave a child just eyes off for 1 second, and a tragedy could happen. One of the scariest. I can't even imagine what they must be going through, just losing a son like that. And there's this old video of him with his son. It must be like in their driveway or something like that. And his son must have just learned how to walk. And he's talking to the camera, and he's like, he's gonna be the next Olympic star to run for Nigeria. He's like, watch him go. And the little boy just starts walking and running, and it was I saw it, somebody posted that again, and it made me cry again. You know what I'm saying? Like, fuck,
Yeah,
tragic.
man, it's tough, man. You try to humanize these situations, and as fathers, and, you know what I'm saying, parents,
God forbid.
it hits just so hard. You know what I mean? It just like it makes you just pray a little harder, tuck your children a little harder.
Yeah,
I
for
mean, you
sure.
know what I'm saying? It's just it's super unfortunate in both cases, both with
Yeah,
Takeoff and Davido's son. So, our condolences to both of those families,
indeed.
friends of those families. Episode 184, what's a podcast? Um, in the 757, which I believe I listed as my number two place that I'm most comfortable with in the country. My second favorite, most influential place, or whatever it was. We had a conversation about it.
Wait, what's number one? Phoenix or DC?
Arizona.
So DC is number 3.
No, DC is number 5. Yeah, yeah. We
Wow.
had this conversation. You remember?
It goes Phoenix, Virginia Beach.
Phoenix. It's the whole 757. Yeah,
Okay.
Phoenix. The whole seven five
757.
seven.
What, New York?
Yeah, New York.
Oh my God.
I kind of like Miami a lot now too. You know
That
what I'm saying?
this guy goes to Miami once, and all of a sudden it's number 4 on his list.
Yeah. Oh wait, did we talk about? We didn't talk about me going to Miami yet, did we?
Oh shit! No, you were
All
just there
right.
last
Yeah, I
week.
was just
Yeah,
in Miami last week.
goes to Miami last week, comes back, and it's number 4 on his list. Oh my
Yeah,
God.
yeah. I like Miami a lot
Shit.
actually.
And then
Surprise.
DC is fortunate enough to make it to number 5, huh?
I mean,
Wow.
I'm going to LA next month. Don't let me get you comfortable out there. You feel me?
LA about to be number 3.
I like
That's
LA.
so
I like
crazy.
LA. Nah. My first 3 are locked in for life, for real.
All right.
But yeah, man. Shots before we get to the 757. Shot down to Miami last week. Last Wednesday, matter of fact, the homie Spencer Tracy was celebrating the 1-year anniversary of his party called Something Something. My man Pierre from District Dodger went with me, so we mobbed down there. And
Should we say Pierre from District Dodger, or do we say
sorry.
Pierre from Studio Sonic?
Studio Sonic, excuse me. And shout out to Studio Sonic, man. They about to get that good Commonwealth Instagram post soon, so it's about to sell out. It's not about to go up; it's about to sell out.
Word.
So
Let's go.
so we hit Miami, and we
You had an
literally
early
just
morning flight, so
noon. So we was there by two.
Okay.
By 2.
that's not bad.
And we got off the plane, checked in the hotel, and like when I tell you, we ended up walking like a mile just because. Like we left the hotel, made a right, and just walked a mile. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? We didn't know where we was going. We went from 24th Street. No, we went from 35th to 21st Street before we were like, all right, let's like get something to eat. And we found some just chicken spot to eat. We then walked to Wynwood, but we weren't too far away, so we walked to Wynwood
Okay.
and just did some daytime, just kind of out there, bombed.
Tourist attractions.
Yeah, just whatever, and then just came back through the room, chilled. Ended up going to Dante's Hi-Fi. I think you say you've been, right?
I've never been.
It's the best place in the world. It's a
No, but
vinyl
I know Rich Medina is
Yeah,
one of
Rich-
the partners there or something
yeah.
like that.
Rich was there. And
Professor, shout out to Rich Medina.
Wednesday night, you would have thought it was midnight on a Saturday. You could barely walk in there.
Wow, and this was mad early.
7:00.
So is this like a pregame spot? It seems like, or
We were
does
tr-
it stay like that all night?
We were trying to figure that out. You know what I'm saying? But I think what it was is from 7 to 10, they were doing a celebration of a Sade album. It was a maybe 20-year, 25-year, 30-year, maybe 40-year anniversary. I'm not sure.
Okay.
But it was extremely dope to see people from the ages of 55 to 21 celebrating a Sade album at a vinyl bar. It had Suntory whiskey on tap. It was just like the vibes were incredible. I
Is it a
mean,
small spot or
small spot, not
really
that
small?
big.
Because it's kind of based on like a little bar in Tokyo, right? Or
The
am I
same
tripping?
idea, yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
JBS is the bar in
yeah.
Tokyo,
And
but
that apparently only fits like a handful of people in there.
yeah, and I tweeted it, man. I said a vinyl bar in DC would be fantastic. You
Okay.
know what I'm saying? Like, so if anybody wants to throw me a couple 250K, we can make it work. You feel me? But we did that, and then we went to see one of my homies. Um, and he was playing for a spot that was kind of chill. It hadn't popped off yet. Then we ended up hitting Spencer's party. My guy OG Chase B was DJing.
Okay.
Chase has been the homie for over a decade. He was rocking. So at one point, just, we're all in there. Me, Pierre, Chase, and just a room full of people. Jared was holding court as he does. Um, and we rocked out. We had a good time. We was there till 3-ish, yeah.
Okay.
Left that, we leave, cool, like whatever. Me and Pierre on the corner just chilling. Somebody in a black Porsche pulls up. I'm like, oh man, they caught us slipping, dude. Like we was out here tripping, like you know what I mean? Like it's over.
Uh, who hops out?
It's Jared with a black Porsche truck. He said, y'all need a ride? Man, I don't know. He like, man, get in the car. Got in the whip. You know what I'm saying? And circumstances later, I'm behind the wheel. 4 a.m. We just mobbing down Miami. You know what I'm saying? We
I
found
love it.
there's a bar called Mama Tried in Miami that stays open till 5. So we hit that spot. Then we hit a food spot after that.
You need the food spot.
Next thing I know, it's 5:30. I haven't been out at 5:30.
Yeah.
But it was Miami. It's 84 degrees. The wind's
Yeah.
blowing. Like
Yeah.
the music sounds a lot louder when there's just nobody else on the street from a Porsche system. You feel me? So it's safe to say Pierre had like a 10 a.m. flight, and he's like, bro, I was hurting. I know he was hurting. My flight wasn't until like 3. I was good. I got late checkout,
Yeah.
and then I just went back to Jared's crib and just slept on his couch for like 30 minutes, and then went to the airport. But man, Miami is special. It's a lot of
That's why it made it to number 4, huh?
Yeah.
All right.
For sure.
I can respect it.
I'll be
Speaking
back.
of OG Chase B, man, one of the better Halloween costumes I saw this year came out as MF Doom.
I don't know if that was a costume or that was just him paying homage because it was his birthday. Oh yeah, no, I'm sorry, no.
Both.
It was a celebration of
away.
celebration of him passing away. Yeah.
And it could have been a little bit of both. He passed away. Well, I don't know if he passed away. His passing away was announced on Halloween of 2021, or was it 2020? I think it was 2020.
No, I think it was 21.
Okay. Rest in peace to MF Doom. But OG Chase B came out, man, with the MF Doom Nike SBs on, as well as the mask. And I thought that was incredible. And I'll be honest, I had that idea. It was 2020, bro. He passed away in 2020 because last year I had the idea to dress my kids up. I was gonna dress one of them up as MF Doom and one as DMX for Halloween last year, and obviously my wife put a kibosh to that whole situation, and I was not allowed to dress my kids up anymore.
Yeah, you're right. It was 2020.
Yeah.
I just had to Google it because of the feedback we got about you last week. So
what was that in regards to? We should talk about that right after this. Oh, it was Morgan State Homecoming. I had the wrong date. But it was 2020 because I now remember I was planning on dressing my kid up as MF Doom last year. So, which would mean he had passed away.
You said your wife wouldn't let you?
Yeah, if Kim put an end to all of that. She's like, you can't dress them up as dudes. They don't want to dress like it, and it's a whole bunch of things. And
Doom would have been kind of fire.
No, it was Doom and X. Like I had I had the outfits ready to go. You know what I'm saying? There's one classic picture of Doom in a sort of like just a face up, but he's got on a green hoodie with the mask up and the joints tied tightly around here with the mask on.
I know which one
Oh,
it is. Yeah.
you know, come on, that would have been shut him down season.
Listen, man, I have all the love in the world for Kim. Kim is the big homie, man. Like, that's my dog, but she dropped the ball on that one.
Yeah,
She dropped the ball on that one.
She hit it on.
Dang.
And so that idea, I let somebody else live with it. But it was great to see Chase B with that outfit on. Either way, for whatever reason it was, rest in peace to MF Doom, one of the greatest to ever do it. And also a fellow African, and yeah, man, it was dope. So yeah, but going back to we were talking about 757 before we went on.
Oh, we'll get back. Yeah, we'll get back to that. We'll get back to that. But yeah, Miami, super tight. And I think the thing about Chase, my guy, man. So what a lot of people don't know about Chase is that he's very much like a hip hop head. Like, I know he's like Travis Scott's DJ and what I'm saying, all that stuff, but he's a hip hop guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's a fan of a lot of the same music that we actually listen to, even though he's probably a minimum of 10 years younger than us. You know what I'm saying? So he's just he's a dude that when he did something like that, I saw people in the comments didn't even know what the shoes were because he had the Doom SBs on.
Oof, 2007.
Crazy.
I went to Delaware for them shits. I went to Delaware for them shits right after Dream one night. Shot up there at like 4:00 in the morning.
And when you got it, you had to wait in line for an hour or something, couple hours.
So that the Delaware spot was the spot that nobody really fucked with. Like, I got there at 6-ish, and I must have been like second or third in line.
Oh wow!
Everybody would go to the bigger names. There was the spot in Philly.
Nocturnal.
Nocturnal was in Philly, and then
where was Kinetic?
That was the spot I went to.
That was the spot.
Delaware.
Yeah, Kinetic skate shop.
Kinetic skate shop in Delaware.
I'm hip.
And even over here, Elite. There was never any like real announcements, right? Like, unless you knew, like, somebody in there. For the most part, they would just drop the shoes off like anytime they felt like it. And I just knew I got a pair from Elite as well, but I had insider information that it wasn't coming out on the day that Nike had announced, that every other skate shop had announced that they were coming out. I had already called Kinetic. They were like, yeah, tomorrow morning, Saturday. Boom. Shot up there right from Dream, man. I had drove my own car to the club. Everybody's like, yo, what's up? You're not going to roll with us? I was like, no. I'm on a mission right afterwards. I'm already there, halfway there, like New York Avenue. I bust that right out of Dream. I'm already on BW Parkway.
I mean, it's really, what was it, 2 hours at the most?
It was less than that.
Yeah, because you're right there. I'm right there.
I'm flying. I'm smoking cigarettes, all that. You know what I'm saying?
You were ruthless back in the day.
That was. I had a 20 ounce of Sprite. And a box of Marlboros, box of Newport Menthols. I was ready to go. Yeah, there was nothing.
So that means you hit Baltimore in like 35 minutes.
Easily. I might have even done it in 25.
Yeah, you might have. So people, what y'all gotta understand if you live in DC is Dream is connected to New York Avenue, and basically it takes you right out of DC. You're outside.
Yep.
You're out of DC in 4 minutes, right?
Yep.
And for all the people that live in Maryland and Baltimore, it was the main way they would get to this particular part of the city.
Artery.
It's the main artery. So but it also at 3 a.m. becomes like a racetrack.
That's
like, it is pure. Like, you just stay in the right lane. You're doing 80 in the right lane because everybody in the left lane is doing 100, 120. Like, it's a race.
There's been a lot of bad accidents there at that time of night.
A ton of terrible accidents.
A lot of drunk driving because people are trying to get back home from the clubs. So me leaving Dream at that time, and it was a little bit risky, but I stayed alert, aware. I don't drink, so I was good. And the cigarettes wake you up, man. The second I had enough caffeine and nicotine in my system, I could have stayed up for 3 days if I needed to. But yeah, shoot up. I went up there and got that pair. Came back down. I got another pair from Pit Crew. I got another pair from Elite. Um, yeah, I used to make my rounds back then. It was nothing for me to just get up and go somewhere out of town for sneakers on a whim without even thinking twice. No wife, no kids. Come on.
Shout out to Pit Crew. I just saw a Pit Crew was a skate shop in Frederick, Maryland.
Frederick, Maryland, yes.
Which is about an hour and 20 minutes outside of DC, going northeast, I believe.
Yeah.
And I just saw one of their they took it was a Dunk or a Terminator or a Jordan 1, and they kind of flipped it and wrote Pit Crew on the shirt. Remember, like the shoes were backwards.
Yeah. It was a print on a shirt.
On a T-shirt, yeah. That T-shirt T-shirt just DeLorean just got one.
Oh shit!
They just posted it. Yeah, a white one with the red shoes, size extra large, $35. Thought about it, you know what I'm saying? But
that would have been a nice little
memento. They just posted it yesterday. So
right.
Shout out to our guy Stereo Faith, man. He was super close with the Pit Crew squad. I mean, Steve has every Pit Crew shirt ever.
Yeah.
And shout out to Stereo Faith in general, man. We DJ'd Saturday night together on the early side. It was cracking. Before we went to Darla Nikki was incredible at Hill Prince, our Halloween party. Our costume contest got a little dicey, you know what I'm saying?
Why?
Because people came to win, and they were upset if they did not win.
Who won? What was that? What was the costume that won?
It was a woman dressed up as House of the Dragon, like the blonde girl from what's that?
I don't know. What is that?
You watch that show? It's one of Game of Thrones.
Oh, I don't watch that shit.
Oh, okay, yeah. So this girl was like a spot on, like she would perfectly look like that.
Who was the judges?
Me, the crowd.
Oh, all right.
So like I was on the mic, I would introduce, and the crowd.
Okay. All right.
Third place was a woman who dressed up like Tyler the Creator. That was dope. But like the blonde Tyler the Creator, like when he had the blonde hair.
Yeah.
Second
with the wig, right?
Yeah, with the wig. Yeah. Second place.
Okay.
Second place is one of the women that was DJing with us, Ebony. She dressed up like Nia Long from Friday. She had like a cheerleader outfit on or something like that, like a blue heart on her shirt or something like that. So it was tight. There was a dude that was dressed up like Prince, who probably could have won, but he was so drunk that he was asleep on a bench when we were doing the costume contest. Yeah, so we gave him honorable mention, which was a bottle of water.
Speaking of Pit Crew, real quick before we go on to the next segment, I was speaking to the owner of Crushed, Brian, and the Crushed SBs just dropped recently. They re-upped on some pairs and did a first come first serve on Thursday, which the line looked so crazy. I thought about going up there to go get a pair, but the line looked so crazy that I was like, you know what, fuck it, I can't do this. But he told me that when he got Crushed, he actually got offered the name Pit Crew from the owners. So he thought about actually calling it that for a second. Something along those lines. I hope I didn't get the story too wrong. I'm obviously getting called out in comments and messages for spreading false information, like the Morgan State homecoming date. But the story was along those lines, man. He had an option to buy that name and call his shop Pit Crew, which would have been dope. But I'm glad he decided to go in his own direction and create his own name. And here we are. You know what I'm saying? A few years later, he's got a collab with Nike SB, the first homegrown store from this area to have a Nike collab.
I saw P-Rod and Deshaun Jordan, who are two Nike skaters.
Yeah.
They've both been posting clips all week of them skating in the Crushed
SBs, yeah.
Yeah, and like Deshaun Jordan might be the best skater on earth right now. He's tremendous. He's from Arizona too. Don't get it twisted.
All right, he's black.
Obviously, yeah, he's black. Yeah.
Oh, that's dope.
And we already know P-Rod is like the
legend.
The legend. You know what I'm saying? But they've been crushing. Like, and I was obviously like comatose like in Miami when the line dropped, so I didn't get the shoes. But man, it was they make those shoes look really good. They
Yeah,
make them look really good. I think, and I saw the box, the special box. The special box
special
is
box is
crazy.
fire.
Crazy.
They nailed it with that because it's based on the marble floors that are in
At
at
Freedom
Freedom
Plaza.
Plaza, and it's perfect. It looks exactly like it. So, um, yeah, amazing, man. Good stuff, and shout out to
Yeah.
those guys, man. They did a great job.
Tremendous job. So what we were trying to get to before I took us down a different path was um, currently in 757, um, which is the Hampton Roads portion of Virginia, which is Norfolk, Virginia Beach, so on and so forth. Hampton, which is where I went to college. Um, there's like a festival going on right now, and I'm trying to get the proper name of it.
Right,
Be-
as in this weekend is a festival.
no, right now, like the first through the third.
Oh wow, okay,
So it's pretty cool. They had Joe K from Selection. They had so it's called the Mighty Dream Festival.
okay.
It's the November 1st through 3rd, Norfolk, Virginia. Kind of in downtown, I believe, is where it's at. If you're familiar with downtown, I want to say it's probably by the Norva, Granby Street. Just kind of there's some really fire stuff down there. You know what I mean? Like, and so Pharrell was at a made an announcement today that Something in the Water will be returning to Virginia Beach
Boo,
in 2023.
boo.
Um,
I'm just playing.
so the Mighty Dream Forum in Norfolk is what it's called. He says so. Pharrell basically says Something in the Water is coming back home. It's very, very, very exciting to do it. Um, obviously Pharrell keeps an eye on the 757.
Yeah.
And basically, last year his cousin was killed. His cousin was killed by Virginia Beach police, and so he didn't like the response to it, and so as a result of that, he brought it to DC.
The
You know what I'm saying?
accountability that the police department took in that murder of his cousin was not favorable to him, and he decided to pull his dollars out of that community, which I think is the way you need to do it. That's how it seems like America learns: is you take their money and their resources away.
100%. So I feel like Pharrell was very much.
But
Oh
what
wow!
changed though? Why did he decide to?
I don't think he fully. I mean, I think he. I didn't see that. I'm pretty sure. I feel like they asked him those questions, but all I saw was a small clip of him announcing that Something in the Water will be back. I saw people on Twitter wondering why, like, oh, maybe like because his death doesn't matter anymore, or whatever, whatever. We even had somebody in our DMs ask
Mhm.
us, you know what I'm saying? And I just replied, I said, man, time and money seems to change a lot of things in nowadays, So
I
the
mean,
DC Something in the Water obviously had its challenges. Um,
yes, but I will say that if I was to guess, I would say that the one here was probably more successful tickets wise and things like that wise because everybody who came down here did not know that there was going to be like issues. You know what I'm saying? Everybody bought a ticket thinking it's going to be amazing, and it was. But, there were some challenges that could have been fixed on this next one. And DC is just so much more of a central location than Virginia Beach. Virginia Beach is about to be tough, man. Hotels, there's not a whole lot of them in that area. The traffic, it's really one road going in and out of that whole area.
you got
What
it.
is
You
it,
got
81 or 83 or something like that? What's that highway, 61?
oh
Something like
64.
64 from
Yeah.
Richmond to whatever it is.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it's true.
like
Yeah.
it's not a whole lot of places and ways to get down there. So it's about to be a fucked up weekend in a good way. You know what I'm saying? But I honestly wish it had stayed here, and maybe it's because I live here, but also there was just so much excitement and stuff happening around that weekend, around that week, actually leading up to it. Um, that I think it brought a certain energy to this city, which I thought was incredible. I mean, and I'm sure Virginia Beach wants to have that same sort of energy, and maybe they deserve it more because Pharrell's from there, and it probably does a lot more for their community than maybe we need it. But I hope Pharrell changed his mind on having Virginia Beach, of taking that festival back there, because there was some sort of policy change that made him be like, you know what, all right, I see something happening, and I see there's going to be a change for the better. I will bring my money back here. So I do hope that.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but I think what it helps jumpstart the local economy a lot, though, right? The
Yeah, for
economy of
sure.
Virginia, and like I'm down there pretty frequently. I'm actually going to be down there next, like the middle of next month. I think I'm doing the Commonwealth holiday party, maybe. So like,
I might come down there for that.
yeah. So like Thursday, I'll let you know the day. It's like Thursday.
All right.
Um, but there is, they're working on trying to make it, turn it into a bigger city and give it big city amenities. You know what I'm saying? And you're right. Like, you just have to know. It's one of the places where you got to know the side streets,
Yeah.
because you're absolutely right. Taking the highway to Virginia Beach, you're going to be stuck in traffic for hours.
Yep.
But if you know the side streets and kind of just maneuver in that space, you're going to save yourself hours. You know what I'm saying? Like, or if you're smart, honestly, just book your hotel. Just book a hotel on the beach.
Book a flight.
We'll book a flight and book a hotel on the
Yeah.
beach. Like, don't rent a car. None of that stuff. Book your hotel on the beach. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Because I mean, I could see, listen, trust me, having a festival on a beach is a lot better than having it on a city block. Obviously, the beach doesn't end. There's endless amount of space. So, you could have a big ass festival that stretches a mile long and it won't even matter. Um, and, of course, being in a city has its limitations space wise. So I could see why that would make more sense. But that week is April 28th or whatever it is. It's still a little bit chilly out here. I wish he had moved it into like May or something, because
You
for
got
us
to.
it was over the summer, right? When was
Oh
something in
yeah,
the water? It
it
was July or
it
June
was
or something like
June.
that.
It was June 16th and 17th. Yeah, I
Yeah,
remember that.
that's it was shorts weather.
But I think the thing about it though is, if they want to sell hoodies. You know what I'm
Yo,
saying? Like, they want to sell hoodies. That's
but they
your
could
own.
also want to sell teas.
Yeah, but they want to sell hoodies and tees. Like, they
Yeah,
really want to. The thing, they want you to be a beach bum that weekend. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
okay.
So, um, we're definitely gonna try to put some Darling Nikki energy towards that. I've already spoken to the Commonwealth Massive about it, and you know what I'm saying, as we continue to go on our What's the Podcast World Tour,
Yeah.
we should look to
We,
heading down there.
listen, I think we're gonna have a former guest of the show, Dre Mayer, back on, and make sure we position ourselves to be the official podcast of something in the water, and maybe we can be on the artist campus, and maybe have some interviews and discussions with a few people before or after they go on, and just really bring the word to the people of what the stars are thinking. You know what I mean? And listen, shout out to Pharrell. I've always been a fan of everything he's done. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to the Clips as a unit, not just Push. Malice, of course. That would be dope to see. Did Clips perform at the first one or no?
No, I don't think they performed at the first one. I think it was just
Okay.
his most recent one in DC.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, man, shout out to 7-5, man. There's a lot of good, good people, good family down
Yeah,
there.
for
So
sure.
thank you, Gallery, Commonwealth, just everybody down there. Thank you. Um, so episode 184 was a podcast. Um, let me see, where else are we at, bro? Hold on one second, people. We're trying to find these amazing topics to speak about for you.
White Lives Matter.
Oh, so two dudes, two radio guys from Arizona,
Phoenix, Arizona.
Phoenix, Arizona. Listen, man,
I love it.
Y'all slipping, man. Arizona's a place to be, bro. I'm trying to tell you.
I love it.
Actually, Rugi from Rude is
Yeah.
he's like the creative director of the Arizona Coyotes now,
What's the Coyotes?
the hockey team.
Oh, okay.
So
Is he
he's
from Arizona?
No, he's from the Philippines.
No, I know. Via where?
LA.
Virginia Beach?
LA. No.
Respectfully.
He's from LA, but he's doing this thing at Bally now. He's doing this thing at Rude. Shout out to Lapstone and Hammer, man. They carry a lot of Rude, man. So I always look at their site to see if you know what I'm saying, what's good. We used to carry Rude at Commonwealth.
Really?
Before he really, when he was doing like bandana print T-shirts.
Yeah.
We were carrying Rude, man. So he got his weight up tremendously.
The price point went up.
Price was stupid.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Shout out to Lapstone and Hammer.
But I look at his stuff on Lapstone also just to kind of see where he's at with it. You know what I mean? And I also think their pricing is fairer than a lot of other places, or more fair. I don't know if fair is the word, but more fair. But yeah, he's the creative director of the Coyotes. So he's like working on their new merch. He's put some new hats in the atmosphere that are crack. He was out in Arizona recently. The spot that my brother frequents called Bacanora. It's like I don't even know how to describe the food. It's just super crack. And they did a little downtown Phoenix takeover, and he was at the first hockey game. So shout out to him, man. But these other guys, Ramses Ja and Quentin Ward, who are the reason Kanye West can't sell the White Lives Matter. So truthfully, these are the two black men who own the trademark.
I love it. But it's so crazy how the story even comes. I'm looking at this article over here. First of all, I mean, this show, I'm going to have to start listening to it. Civic Cypher in Phoenix, Arizona. Ramses Ja and Quentin Ward, hosts of the radio show Civic Cypher in Phoenix, Arizona, were given the legal trademark from a listener who secured it to ensure it didn't fall in the hands of someone wanting to profit off of hate speech, such as Kanye West. This person who first procured it didn't really love owning it because the purpose was not necessarily to get rich off of it. Ja told black-led nonprofit news outlet Capital B. The purpose was to make sure that other people didn't get rich off that pain. Man. And indeed, the federal government's trademark database confirms that Civic Cypher took ownership of the trademark after it was secured on October 3rd. I love it. The trademark notice says it covers blouses, boxer shorts, graphic t-shirts, hoodies, sweatshirts, jeggings, namely, which I don't know what that is, pants that are partially jeans and partially leggings, jogging suits. I mean, the list goes on and on. They pretty much cover every facet of clothing, small hats, socks, jackets, sports shirts, sweatpants, sweatshirts, like everything you could think of. So unless Kanye West wants to get that shit tattooed on his face, he's not allowed to print it on any sort of clothing or any item and profit from it, which I think is absolutely incredible. Wow.
Yeah, so if you go to their Instagram, they're pretty much celebrities now.
I love it. They need to be. More and more people should know about their show because I believe it's what did I read earlier that this show talks about? It's really about empowering black people, which I think is dope, man. And for them to be out of Phoenix, Arizona, of all places, is super tight.
Listen, man, you already know Phoenix, Arizona is the greatest place on earth.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But for, as somebody who grew up in Arizona, And we're from Mesa, which is like the Silver Spring of the area. Um, and when I say we, my brother and I, um, it was difficult being a person of color, particularly. I think is that you, bro? Or is that me? I think that's you.
I don't hear anything.
I hear it. I think that's you, bro.
It's still happening?
Nah, we're good now. Just stay right there.
Okay.
Um, Arizona was one of the last places to get an MLK Day. There's blatant discrimination against people of color consistently. They're having all these crazy issues with the election from 2020. They're still trying to like overturn it and voting
It's just
rights.
nutcases over there.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
It's a terrible spotlight on my home state. You know what I'm saying? But as long as my mother and my brother are fine, a couple homies be good. But to see people coming from Phoenix with this level of cause and concern
Hmm.
is tremendous because Kanye really. I don't know if he's calmed down, so to speak, but that he was definitely in a very strong manic episode. You know what I'm saying? And um, he hasn't been as noteworthy in the news. Maybe they decided to turn him off, so to speak. But he was really. If he would have been able to print those T-shirts on a large scale, the amount of damage that would have done could have been like insane.
Yeah.
I mean, he was on a course to get somebody hurt. You know what
Yeah.
I'm saying? So, um,
I like what the Ja also said. He said their focus is larger than Kanye, focusing on systemic racism across the country. Um, and we've got people running for office right now, and we have people trying to suppress our vote and disenfranchise us. And that's so accurate with what this election coming up means, man. It's so much more than just them being voting Democrat and voting Republican. I mean, the easy way to look at it is, yeah, what have Democrats done for black people? What have Democrats done for minorities? What have Democrats, since they took office, have done for Black Lives Matter? What have they done for all these things? But what have Republicans also done? Let me tell you some of the things they have done. They have tried to stop voting from happening in some of these minority sections of the country. Suppressing your vote and not giving you that right to be able to go out there and vote and making sure your vote doesn't count is way more criminal than anything else, man, because it essentially they want the government to be in everything that's going to just disenfranchise black people. And I think that's a message that kind of gets lost in all of this, man.
I feel
it's
like
hard. It's hard both ways, but
no,
the Republicans
I feel like,
are way more evil, dog.
but I feel like number one, the Republicans have put no numbers on the board. They've done absolutely nothing for black people. This, as a black person, is legitimately what I'm telling y'all. It's not what I'm trying to no, I'm telling y'all, right?
Yeah.
If you pay attention to politics, you understand that a lot of things that Biden has been trying to pass, that Obama tried to pass, was blocked by the
Republicans.
Right?
That's a fact.
Republicans are the ones that have, even if it's not a black person thing, but if you love America and if you watch CNN on January 6th, Republicans are the ones who have been defending the actions of the people who tried to essentially, they tried a coup, whatever you want to call it, a coup. They tried that. All the people who've been defending that have been Republicans.
Yeah.
January 6th has been largely silent. When you look at abortion rights, when you look at black reproductive rights, when you look at gay and trans rights, all these things Republicans are against. So even if you're not a fan of black people, all of these other things that I just listed are 100% things that Republicans do not want to happen. A woman's body should be her choice 1,000,000%.
I mean, even if you look at these Black Lives Matter peaceful protests that were happening in 2020, not the riots that were happening by, different factions, but the actual reasons for that peaceful protest in Washington, D.C. and throughout the whole country. Look at the people that were trying to stop it. Look at the people who called the National Guard. These were Republican politicians who did not want black people to voice their opinions, and they wanted to silence it and kept on coming out with, well, all lives matter, blue lives matter. That whole narrative came from your Republican politicians. They
Listen,
don't
man,
fuck with y'all.
I would be surprised. I would be interested if we had any Republican listeners, just because of the way we speak, the things we speak about. You know what I'm saying? Like I start to hear and I started to read. I'm starting to see people say, "Well, I'm socially like I'm like a liberal social, but I'm fiscally
Yeah.
conservative." Or something of that line. I see people as we move into our early to mid 40s. I see people kind of using those lines, and you know what I'm saying. Like nobody's telling you to go buy a outside of your budget anything.
I
You know what
know,
I'm
Jerome,
saying?
but it's getting dangerously close to that point. I was listening to something on NPR or one of these things my wife was listening to where they're saying even liberals now are starting to lean more on, like white liberals are starting to lean more on the right because of things like crime, and crime has gone up, and who's gonna come in and really be like the crime boss? You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be the motherfuckers like Rudy Giuliani and what he did in New York, and I'm throwing up my fingers to clean up the city. What did that mean? That just meant it led to the incarceration of more black and brown men than ever before. And
Mhm.
that's what's going to happen when they say they're cleaning up the cities, and when they say they're taking a bite out of crime. That just means they're locking more of our people up.
But you look at the fallout of Giuliani, how do you pronounce his name? My man just
Fuck his name.
he went
Fuck him.
crazy. He
Yeah.
completely lost his mind. He should have been disbarred if he wasn't. And I mean, he legitimately was just
He's a
crazy
piece of
dude.
shit.
Yeah, he's a bad person. You see what I'm saying? But I think a lot of what, and this is my opinion, I believe a lot of white liberals are starting. There's a lot of fatigue that they're hearing. They're being sort of conditioned to feel like white people have been so bad and the left isn't getting the job done. And it's unfortunate that you've had the dude Manchin from West
West
Virginia
Virginia.
and Cinema from Arizona, who have literally blocked a ton of Biden's agenda. But
Yeah.
if you utilize your common sense, in my opinion, and my mother always says common sense is not that common, you'll realize that outside of those things, a lot of things have been put to task and tried to happen.
Yeah.
Yes, Biden has definitely done a lot of he's confirmed a lot of judges in lower courts and all that, and that's great for the future. Right now, you
Yeah.
literally have to fight the Supreme Court, which is very conservative. Right, we need to put our energy into Stacey, excuse me,
Abrams.
Stacey Abrams, because you got somebody like Killer Mike literally campaigning for the other dude who is leading the charge in suppressing black votership. Killer Mike, what are you doing? And I understand Killer Mike's father was a policeman. You understand what I'm saying? And I understand he's in Run the Jewels and whatever, but bro, how could you even like Stacey Abrams is a brilliant individual. She
Yeah.
would take Georgia to the best place in some of the
Yep.
best places it
That's
can
a
go.
fact.
You know what I'm saying? So
Georgia is a dangerous place, man. Herschel Walker on the other side is fucking acting up too.
Warnock and Herschel Walker, you know what I'm saying? But like, and these are places that have significant black populations, particularly in the city. Like, right, like I've heard kind of once you get outside of Atlanta, it's just straight country. You know what I'm saying? But
Mhm.
like these to me are things that people need to utilize their own two eyes to see. And as much as these big national elections have um, sort of repercussions, you got to be involved in local government as well.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? This is not the time to be on the sidelines. It's not the time to be scared. Like, there's a lot at stake, both for now and the immediate future. And, you know what I'm saying? It was great to, they haven't expanded the courts yet. What are you going to have to wait for these Supreme Court justices to die? Like,
Yeah.
and hope that there's a Democratic president in office at the time that they pass away?
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. You know what I mean?
It's crazy.
So
Vote
but I was-
Democratic, man. Vote Democratic, please.
I think there's a sign that says, or there's a saying right now, if you vote, it's as simple as like if you vote D, you put the country, like you vote the country to move forward. But if you vote R, you're basically taking us back in time. You know what I'm
Sure.
saying?
For
And
sure.
as we were driving to Germantown, there were literal signs that just said vote Democrat. Like I don't know
Yeah,
if you saw them when you get off the freeway, or these signs that are literally like vote Democrat.
bro. I think one thing that you just said that's so important is people just need to really look as to why some of these bills that could help people of color out are not happening, and it's really just because the it's so close in the House and Senate, the amount of Democrats that there are to Republicans, that one fucking guy on the Democratic side, such as Manchin, who is pretty much a Republican, can fuck every bill that's trying to get passed. But the public does not know that because it's so simple as the narrative simply being Biden's not doing shit, or the government's not doing shit, or like nobody fucking cares. And listen, that has truth attached to it. But if you really look as to why some of these bills that are not happening that could make this country better are because of people like Manchin blocking it, or just blocking the president's agenda, just sometimes out of just pure spite, and sometimes just to further their own agenda. So it's very dangerous. It's gonna be a very, very big election, man. November 8th. Go out and vote.
Go out and vote. Early vote. I'm trying to
Early
go
vote.
vote.
I'm gonna fill out that. I'm about to fill out that shit and just go drop it off. Washington D.C. I don't know if you all have that in your cities, but my guy Tony Lewis just posted a video of him simply filling out his form and going and dropping it off at one of these ballot boxes. They have tons of them throughout the whole city, and that was it. And that was it. I got that shit in the mail, and I did not even realize that that's what I could do.
Yeah, I didn't know that either till right now. Mine's sitting in my mailbox. Yeah.
Feb, I got that shit, and I did not know it was gonna be that easy until I saw Tony Lewis Jr., who is a Washington D.C. activist and one of our local superheroes, post a video showing how it can be that simple. And I was like, Feb, they are doing a terrible job of publicizing this and telling the people that it can be this easy. I do not need to wait in line on November 8th. I can just go fill this bitch out and drop it off in that ballot box that's right up the block. Come on. There's no easier solution. Just go do that shit right now.
Yeah, go do it. Listen, go do it.
Yeah.
Be responsible. If you vote Democrat, we'll have you on the show. Okay?
Yeah, there you go.
That's simple. Make your podcast debut. Vote Democrat.
That's right.
I think it is time to talk about sneakers.
Sneakers, man. Arizona State, huh? Arizona State dunks. University of Miami dunks. Both are heaters. I think we got you set up for the Arizona State ones, man.
The A-State joints, man. Bad. I need those.
I think we got you a size 11 coming, and hopefully we can also get a 10.5 for Kellen, your brother. But listen, the colors, dunks it started to go quiet a little bit, but they're coming back with these college colors, and I'm fucking with it again. I'm back on. You know what I'm saying? I'm back on. The University of Miami joints are fire. Get those black shorts on a summertime, white tee.
Game over.
Orange and green colorway on my feet. Are you kidding me?
Game over.
Fucking over.
And I felt good too. I threw away about 15 pairs of sneakers, man. It was fantastic. I got a nice space for a few new additions.
Taken them to DeLorean.
No. They were done. They were done.
Okay.
It was just like, one, if the air bubble pops or something, old running shoes, stuff like that. Just throwing stuff away feels great. It's time, man. Those dunks are official. I mean, we're gonna see a lot in the month of what is this, November?
Yeah.
We're gonna see a lot of shoes. Obviously, there's always the Black Friday sneakers. The Air Jordan
Chicago ones are coming out. Yep.
Yeah, about to say the Air Jordan. Everybody seems to be having different stories and different.
November 19th or November 20th, I believe, is the date for those.
But they're leaking more. Like they're leaking out
yeah,
a lot
yeah.
more. You know what I'm saying? You're seeing people just have different experiences picking them up. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just a different.
Yeah.
It's just a different time. You know what I'm saying? I did see. I don't know if you saw this, but Pharrell had an auction, an online auction set up
Yep.
called
Yep.
Jupiter.
Yep. Yep.
So that just ended, and he sold his NERD dunks on there,
How much did it go for?
5 G's.
That's crazy. There
He
wasn't even a
had
sample.
he had Swarovski, Adidas
Swarovski.
Stan Smiths or something like that.
Okay.
3 different colors: white, tennis green, and black. And those went for like 10 G's a piece. You know what I'm
Fuck.
saying? Like, yeah, like I think those were the only sneakers. Oh, and he had like some of the some of the NMDs, but like they were only the colorways that he had.
Hmm.
Those, but he was selling those for like 4 at a time, and you know what I'm saying? He was selling those kicks, man. I mean, Pharrell was really trying to get rid of stuff, selling NERD dunks. Not me. I would have held on
Yeah,
to those, but I know
for
he's Adidas.
sure.
I know he's Adidas guy now, so you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, but
I think what makes that auction super valuable is these were actually items that belonged to Pharrell Williams.
mhm.
You know, these were either things that he had put on himself, used, or they were sitting in his crib. So, um, listen, shout out to whoever paid 5 G's for him. I don't got it.
Foolish. Oh, real quick, I know it's not sneakers, it's kind of sneaker related. It's more of the culture. If you live in Washington, D.C., I believe the northern part of Beach Drive is going to be permanently closed to cars.
Oh, the same part that was closed over COVID.
The part that I bike and you run,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
there was a vote to bring cars back through. But I guess they just said it's permanently going to stay closed.
Wow,
Fantastic.
interesting.
Yeah. I'm trying to buy a bike for myself for Christmas, man, and get active. So,
Yeah,
um, it's tight. So you can get some Nike cycling shoes. I think Tom has them. Yeah, Tom has those. Pretty tight.
yeah.
But yeah, man, there's just obviously we'll see what the sneakers hit for in the next couple of weeks. Um,
I got a little gripe with, not more so gripe with the whole city of New Orleans, but I'm a little bit in a hater kind of mood. I'll be honest. New Orleans got an Air Force One that's coming out, if it's not out already. And my question is, why? I, and with all due respect, New Orleans has always been a city of
it
Reebok
came
classics.
out. It came out today.
It came out today. I saw Currency wearing them. I saw some spots in New Orleans that had them. They look amazing, white and gold. Listen, those are the colors of New Orleans, of the Saints back in the day, and I respect and love that city. But how did they get an Air Force One before Baltimore, and why? I mean, I don't understand the thought behind it. This whole uh, campaign on Nike trying to really tell the story behind the Air Force One, and I think they did a fantastic job of pulling that off, like and showing what Baltimore's importance was to the history and the legacy of that shoe, and I just think it's unfortunate that they haven't shown that by paying homage to that city by having us do an Air Force One. And I would just like to take this time on our platform to my friends at Nike. Let me help, please. Bring an Air Force One to the city of Baltimore. Please. Let me help with it. Let me help make that thing alive. Let me help build it. Let me help design it. Let me help in some fashion, form, or something. Let's please pay the proper respect to the city of Baltimore and to the people of Baltimore and the community. And let's make it right, man. Please.
Well,
Shout out to New
okay,
Orleans.
okay. So I don't think they've ever had a shoe before, though.
Who? New Orleans?
Yeah,
In the Air Force One or just a
an
sneaker?
Air Force One. Yeah, an Air
Yeah,
Force
no,
One.
I don't think so. They have
So I
either.
think as Nike's 40th, I think that we're fully in the 40th year of the Air Force One celebration,
Hmm.
right? So one, Baltimore could still be on deck. There's time. Still 2 months left in the year, right?
Hmm.
Number two, maybe they're just seen as a market that they've already cornered, and maybe they need to go for new markets. I mean, you guys were one of the reasons why. Maybe you are maybe your section on sneakers this year was what they're gonna do for Baltimore,
Yeah,
right?
I would have taken a sneaker over that section.
I would have too. But what I'm saying though is that maybe they just feel like Baltimore has done its job. I mean, you have multiple pairs. I have one pair. Like, and that was what 15 years ago, 17 years ago,
Yeah,
maybe
it was
20,
2005. Um,
17 years ago.
yeah, and I would have. Yeah, regimes change in these big companies, right? So the people that are in there right now probably don't even know there was a Baltimore Air Force One that came out in '05, and then a Lunar Force One that came out a couple of years later. So I don't think that's happened. I just think I'm pretty sure somebody from New Orleans advocated, and some shops out there made a strong case as to why they need representation in the Air Force One world, and I respect it. I think that's dope. I think I'm over here advocating for my city now, and I would like us to get one. I think this is how things happen.
As much as I appreciate you advocating, I don't see them. I just don't see it, bro. It's unfortunate. I
Mm,
mean, like, because
damn.
it's what they did for New Orleans. I feel like what they did for Baltimore was actually dope. There was like a lot of design thought put into it. The New Orleans thing, it just says NOLA. You put some gold accents on there. Like, to me, it was very took about an hour to design that. You know what I mean?
I don't
So
know, man. The Baltimore ones were kind of eh. The 2007 ones for the 25th anniversary were kind of weak. I'll be honest. They gave us like 3 or 4 pairs, and they were all kind of
we will
whack.
we will we will see what's good, man. We'll
Yeah, let's
we'll
see
move
what
forward and see
happens.
what's good. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, shout out to Nike, man. Let's make this happen, please.
At this point, we're gonna say, what is Abdul watching?
Uh, Man, I started and finished watching a show on Netflix called The Playlist, which is essentially the story of Spotify, um, how it started and about the guy that started it, um, all the important people that were part of it. It's a Swedish series based in Sweden in Swedish. I read the subtitles, and man, it was like 6 or 7 episodes, but very very good. So I went through that whole series, that whole season, in about 4 or 5 days, man. But really really good. I strongly recommend you to go check that out. And then I caught up on American Gigolo on Showtime. I'm fully caught up. All episodes have been watched. There's, I think, 4 more episodes left on the season. And if you haven't seen that, man, you should go check it out. The name is a little bit deceiving because it makes it sound like it's just about a male prostitute. And while it is about that, there is a deeper story to it, and you know, a framing of somebody got framed to as if they killed somebody and did some time unjustly. And listen, there's a whole backstory around that show. I'm not going to give too much of it away. Um, so I'm fully caught up on that. And then I started Raising Canaan, which is on Stars, and the 50 Cent show. Man, season 2, smoking hot, bro. Really, really good. I'm 6 episodes in. I was actually watching it right before we started taping, and as soon as we're done taping, I'm gonna get back and continue watching episode 6. So really, really good. I recommend that as well. Um, yeah, that's about it, man. That's what I've been watching all week.
I mean, yeah, it's a lot of. So there is a lot of music out. Well, we can't dismiss this that quickly. My man Matthias said the Rome Streets album is one of the top 3 albums of the year. So I'm gonna give it a listen tonight. The West Side Gun album is still fantastic. Armani Caesar, are you familiar with Armani Caesar?
Yeah, part of Griselda, right? That's
Yeah,
all I know.
she dropped another album too. That joint's a banger.
Is she a rapper or a singer?
Both. She
Okay.
does all the rapping and the singing.
All right.
On her new project. So there is the Drake and 21 Savage album.
That didn't come out, right?
That'll be dropping Friday. So with the rollout, obviously is heavy, and they dropped something since we've been recording right now.
Oh shit!
Like
all
another,
right.
like another. They dropped the cover and they dropped another little teaser. So I mean, there's just a lot of different music out there, man. I know I keep saying that all the time, but and I had a list that I can't find on my phone right now. But we'll get to it, man. Hit us in the comments to the video, comments to the post. We're gonna get back to having music at the beginning of the post, at the beginning of the episodes as well. Silent Tom.
Hell yeah.
Shout out to our guy, always available, hashtag She Eddie, doing his thing where he's at.
Enjoy the Maldives, bro. Wherever you at.
Shout out to my man, always available, shout out to my man, Don't Charge Abdul.
Peace, God.
Jerome Baker III. Do remember What's a Podcast.live and YouTube.com/What's a Podcast for our video episodes. We're out. Peace. Go vote. Go vote. Go vote.
And vote Democratic.
Actually, vote Democrat. Vote Democrat.
Yeah, if you're voting Republican, fuck off. All right? Kick rocks.